Hello, entrepreneurs. Welcome to the stream. Today, we are going to continue on where we left off in the last stream, where I started to showcase my process of doing print on demand designs for metal signs using the Affinity by Serif creative application. I'm using this on Windows. The application is a suite of design tools which range from publishing tools to designer to photo tools. Designer is the one that I typically use the most, but when you download and install Affinity by Serif, you are given the opportunity to use 3 separate programs in one. If you watch my last video, I go over really just how to install those, in the sequence that you're supposed to. I don't do a how-to. I don't show you how to install it. But if you didn't watch that video, I do recommend checking out Affinity by Serif as an alternative to the Adobe Creative Suite. And when you do download that software, or if you download that software, consider using all 3, the publisher, designer, and photo. And when you install them, after they're all installed, you want to open the publisher version of the program. And inside of publisher, you'll have the option to switch between publisher, designer, and photo. Okay. Remember, if you open designer or photo, you will not have the option to switch between the 3 separate apps. All right, so I am currently inside of publisher. Let me go ahead and zoom out so you can see the software. And I have the ability to switch between the publisher persona, designer persona, and the photo persona to be able to use the different tools that are going to help me with my productivity in designing some of these assets. So we're going to jump right in, but first I want to just play a quick clip. This video is brought to you by Memphis Entrepreneur Club and Grow Memphis Agency. Memphis Entrepreneur Club is a locally focused entrepreneur group where we have monthly meetups. We haven't done any meetups in a while, but we bring entrepreneurs together to share and exchange resources and to guide the up-and-coming inspiring entrepreneur through the process of just really finding the practical resources needed to find success versus just providing surface level tips and experiences. So a lot of entrepreneurs are watching YouTube. They're looking to different social media apps, and they're buying courses, but they're not getting the practical day to day or minute to minute, in this case, insight in how entrepreneurs are building their businesses. And that's what I want to bring to you. So real quick, we're just going to play this video. So a couple of things before I get started. I am dealing with a severe family issue, so I may have to pause and take a couple of phone calls. But if you're watching this as a replay and there are some pauses, I encourage you to just jump ahead. Forgive me in advance for when I do have to take those phone calls, or if something comes up. I just want to be able to give you an over-the-shoulder look of what I do on my day-to-day when it comes to creating assets for print-on-demand products. Today we're working with metal signage, and I want to give you an update from the last video of how far I've come, the progress that I've made. I've only been able to do a few of these letters, and my goal is to have all 26 letters created in this style. Also to have all 26 letters created in this, we'll say that this is a like varsity style font. All 26 letters created in this unique style of font. And again, all 26 letters created in this style where there will be holes punched in the letters, so that I can kind of create an opportunity for people to customize and maybe weave some yarn or something through the letters with family and friends, most likely family, to customize their letters after they purchase them. Some of these letters will be customizable, where you can order the product on the website and put your name or last name or the establishment of your family's date or marriage onto the product item, which means that I'm going to have to manually go in here and customize each product as a customer places their order. But the goal here is to create a variety of options, and over the course of 6 months, end up with over 1,000 different product variations in my store. So whether you're using Shopify, WordPress, Squarespace, it really doesn't matter. And I will say the one of the more important things when it comes to building an online business is making sure your site is simple, easy to navigate. It's easy for customers to check out. It's trustworthy. It's secure. And I think the biggest thing that draws customer away is your site speed. So simpler is better, less is more. And you want to focus on the quality of your products over having a beautiful looking website. That's something we're going to get into later. But in the meantime, my goal right now is to launch a new store with a large number of items for people to choose from. Typically, when I launch a store, let's say I do about 500 different designs. Out of the 500, usually there's one that gets ordered consistently, and the other 500, there's here and there, like every month, maybe one different product out of the 500 organically gets purchased by a customer. So that being said, a lot of one of the biggest reasons that a lot of people don't find success in print on demand or really any type of e-commerce brand is because they're so set on having every single product that they think is cool being purchased by other people. And it usually doesn't work that way. Usually you will have to have a large variety, a large number of products published, and one of those products is likely to hit. So I say every 1,000 products that you create, and that sounds like a lot, and it is, but every 1,000 products you create, you might hit 1 to 3 that get a consistent number of orders organically. Now, outside of that, obviously you want to get into running ads, but if you don't have a large variety of items on your store, and something that kind of appeals to your general audience of people who aren't exactly impulse when it comes to online shopping outside of places like Amazon and Etsy, it's going to be hard for you to have consistent sales if you don't have enough products for people to choose from. Now, I say that, but I have one product that went viral in my store. And even though people browse through my products and they seem to like the majority of products that I have listed, I have about 500. That one product that's gone viral, they notice that other people have purchased that product. And usually it's the reviews and photos that come back from customers that validate the purchasing from a new customer, right? So I'm a new customer in the store browsing for products, and I see that there's a lot of positive feedback for one. I'm going to be encouraged to kind of follow the trend, and I don't want, I'll have the fear of missing out, and I'm more likely to order that product. That's typically how people are, right? We can't assume that people are like us generally. Most people are going to be like everyone else. So all the things that we think are going to sell typically will have the least number of sales. The things that we probably just throw up there and think, all right, this is a cool idea, but I wouldn't really just impulse buy it. Those are probably the products that people are going to impulse buy. All right. So out of the 500 products that I've created that I think are amazing, awesome, that I put a lot of time in, it's the one product that I put the least amount of time in that I just thought was a cool thing that people would like that gets consistent sales. That being said, moving forward into creating a new e-commerce store or print on demand store, it's very important that you consider that you start with a lot of products. Obviously, the quickest thing that you can do is get one product up there, get your store set up, and launch as a brand. But my technique is a bit different, and I think this is something that is going to be helpful to anyone that's building a business here moving forward following my tutorials. All right, so rule number one, based on my success, is launch with a variety of products and a large variety. I'm going to do this in real time, and I'm streaming these videos so that you can see, that success in real time, so that you can see that I am walking in the shoes, right? I don't know what the phrase is, but I'm basically practicing what I preach. Okay, so here's 26 letters. If we take out the calculator app and do, let's say, 26 times 4, that's 104 products. And, obviously I have to go and take the time to do the SEO, write out the descriptions, but it's really easy once you get one of the descriptions written for a product like this to go and duplicate that product and, um, just change the letter in the description from L to M, right? So as for four variations of typefaces, we'll have A through Z and then a number, right? So technically it's 27, and then multiply that by 4. I don't know if all of these will be customizable. Some of them will just be letters because some people like to purchase a letter for their last name. Um, like Turner, just a letter T, a metal sign that says the letter T, and they'll sit it on a shelf, right? That's a decorative move. I want to appeal to our college audience of, let's say kids, maybe males. There's males that are going to more likely be interested in having a college style font, a varsity style font. And then, it might be your average adult or young adult who is purchasing a home who might want to have their last name in a font like this, where it has some natural elements. And, I don't really know what to call these, I guess, ornaments, some ornaments and some natural elements on the letters. Is more likely going to be a female purchasing this type of design. Here, I'm trying to create something a little more unique. You can see something like this inside of a game room or a movie theater style room, but I also want this to be used as a product that could be customized by the customer and their family, where they can weave through some different colors of yarns. That's the idea behind this. Maybe including a variation of this that has a last name or a name embedded inside of the font. And then the last variation is going to be something look like this. And I think this is more likely to be put on the outside of the house, on the porch, on the wall, maybe somewhere in the garden where it's the last name and the established date, like established, or, also the address of the house, like the house number, right? So this could also be your, like your address. In my case, your zip code, right? So an address, number, house number, and then the last name, Owens family, welcome to our home. Something like this, I think, would be placed outside of the house, and they might also want to order a letter that matches this font style. So it's possible that they could do a purchase of two products at once, right? So those are the things that I'm considering when creating these products. Again, actually, this is 27. It might end up being 28 items, right? So in one artboard, I'll have a number. In one artboard, I'll have like a welcome sign. And then in the other artboards, I'll have the individual letters that are customizable. And of course, when a customer orders this product, they will have to add their customization during the checkout process. And I will have to go and modify the item with their last name and upload that file to the website for the fulfillment to take place. Okay. So again, this is 20, let's say 28 different artboards, and I'm using Affinity Designer, and I'm using the artboard tool to separate these assets instead of having to open a new project, like a new Photoshop document or a new Affinity document to edit the other letter, where I'm using the artboard tool to separate these into different project artboards so that all the artboards are inside of one project, and that increases my productivity. All right, so we've got 26 letters plus a number plus a welcome to our home sign that are all going to match a particular font style, right? So that 28 times, I will probably end up doing about 10 different font styles over the course of the next maybe 3 months. So 28 times 10, that gives us 280 different products in our store that are all letter based. And I think that's a great variety of letters and font styles to choose from for any person that's coming in here. You don't want to just have one set of letters that won't appeal to your bachelor, for example. So I want to create an opportunity for even bachelors to come in here, or single moms to be able to come in here, or families to be able to come in here and buy something that is going to appeal to both the mother and father and the children, right? I want some font styles that are going to be kid-like so that they can put these into a nursery. I want some font styles that are going to be sport-like. so that they can put a letter in their dorm room. I want some that are going to be form like so that they can put a letter on their barn or so you catch my drift. That's why I want to have maybe 10 different font variations, and I will build all of these inside of one project. And then I can go and save this project as a new project and delete everything except for one single font style to then have one font style in its own project once I'm done with those 26 or 28 different artboards, right? So 26 letters, one number, and then a welcome to our home sign, right? Which gives us 28 different products, 28 different artboards. All right, so 28 artboards here, 28 artboards here, 28 artboards here, 28 artboards here. And once I finalize the design of all of these, I can then go and export the PNG. I will obviously grab all of the assets. So as you can see, these different assets are placed. These are all vectors, right? So I can go and grab these nodes and modify this if I want to. So everything in here is vector. But once I've designed my, letter G, for example, I will then go and minimize the design so that I can scale it up to fit the entire artboard from left to right or top to bottom, whichever one has the widest or tallest aspect ratio, right? So that the edges of the design are touching the edges of the artboard so that we can get the largest possible cut of our metal product when we go and upload this file to the distributor's website. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. Please ask questions in the comments. And the purpose of this video is to really showcase how I'm going to create some new artboards and whip out some new variations of design. So the very first thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna grab an untitled empty artboard like this one. All right, the title right here says untitled, so there's no name to this artboard. I'm gonna hold down Control. I'm using Windows, so it might be Command if you're using a Mac. And I'm gonna drag this over to the side. All right, so the majority of this cluster of graphics are going to be Memphis-based graphics. In my artboard layout, I'm going to just group together all of the Memphis-centric designs. I'm going to group together all the Tennessee-centric designs where it has like the shape of Tennessee. And I'm going to group together all the typography-centric designs. Now I'm going to create some more generalized designs, and these are going to be under the realm of niches that I can play to that are more generalized, such as aircraft, sports, right? So let's say we want to start with a sports section. All right, I'm going to try to align these. There we go. And I will just control shift drag so that I can duplicate. I'm gonna do Control J. Okay. Control J, J, Control J. Control J. I didn't do it that time for some reason. All right. Well, we're just gonna grab and stretch her out. And you can be weird if you want to after I said that, but we're gonna keep it pro. Oh, why am I doing this? So I've got a phone call coming in now, and I'm going to answer that while I'm live. All right, guys. Sorry about that delay. Had to take a phone call from my cousin. My mother's in the hospital. I went to visit her yesterday. She got hit by a car a few days ago. Got pinned between the car and the light pole. The car was totaled. She's still alive. Counting our blessings. But she's in the hospital, going through surgery here soon. I don't have a car. Otherwise, I'd probably be there right now. But also during the surgery, we can't be there. So I'm using my time as wisely as I can to be able to build this business so I can really show up for her. Um, so just real quick, I want to just give you an idea of where I am in my life. Recently went through a breakup, did a lot of mourning over that. Um, had to just really come to the reality that life happens. I have to take a practical look at where I am in life. I'm dealing with some custody battles, trying to get custody or some amount of visitation of my kids that's actually reasonable to me being able to show up as a father. I never wanted to fight for my rights, but as a man, as an unmarried man who has had a child out of wedlock or multiple, unfortunately, we're the ones that are put in positions to have to fight to get access that we should already have. I'm dealing with that. My mother is not okay, but she's in dialysis, which means that she's getting some assistance, machine assistance, to help her kidneys function the way that they're supposed to, and that's going to happen over the course of the next 3 days. Hopefully, that's going to allow her the opportunity to let her kidneys heal. She's on a ventilator, which means the machine is helping her breathe to keep her body from having to do too much work, so that more healing can take place. And hopefully, over the next week or so, she will be able to regulate her blood flow, the kidney performance, the performance of her bladder, her femur, like from the knee up to her hip, was shattered, which means she had to get her right leg amputated almost all the way up to the hip joint. And there's probably some additional damage that needs to be assessed, which is the reason for the surgery today. I keep forgetting the name of the bone, but what's the name of that bone? There are more shatters that are probably, or fractures that are probably in her, like around her hip area, that they need to assess. And that's going to determine whether or not her amputation has to go higher, and whether or not she's going to have something done to, gosh, I can't think of the name of the bone. The It'll come to me at some point. Anyways, it's severe. I wish I could just be there with her 24/7, but I have a lot of work that I need to accomplish on the computer. And part of me doing that work is also streaming to you guys. So, one, thank you for your patience as I go through these streams and have to deal with phone calls coming up. But this is the day to day, and live streams and other influencers and let's say thought leaders, people who are in this space teaching this, they're not showing you the reality, and this is part of the reality, which is why I want to stream it, so that I can look back 5 years from now, and you can look back 5 years from now and say, it's not as easy as getting on my computer, doing the work, making a lot of money. No, I have to deal with things in real life. And that's part of what these successful entrepreneurs should be teaching and streaming. So you'll be able to see in real time that I'm taking phone calls, I'm pausing, I'm not as productive as I would like to be, but I'm still showing up. I'm still doing the stream. We're going to be here for maybe an hour, maybe two, maybe three, depending on what comes up between now and then. And you'll see the progress that I make in these couple of hours, despite dealing with these things. But I mentioned the breakup and the custody battle, my business failing, or not failing, but not succeeding. Let's say I don't have as much business as I think I should, due to COVID and most of my clients being restaurants and them having to close their doors because of the economy. So all of these things, I spent several months mourning over the fact that life is not where I thought it would be and where I think it should be. And I think the clarity that came from that mourning and the growth that I did in that moment allowed for me to be able to show up now with the situation my mom's going through with a more mature and level-headed perspective, knowing that I can't, I don't have an emotional response. Even if I could, like I don't. And I'm not suppressing any amount of emotion to say you should be crying or, you're not crying when you should be. Like you should go ahead and mourn. It's like I've done a lot of mourning to get to a point to where I know now that regardless of the position that my mom is in, given that she's alive, I need to go out here and work my ass off and fucking hustle so that I can show up for her sooner than later. The more time that I spend being emotional, the less time that I'm spending doing the thing that I was originally emotional for. The reason I was emotional is because I don't have my shit together. So the more time that I spend being emotional, the less time that I spend getting my shit together, which means now I have a reason to not be emotional, and I'm not allowing emotion to, well, it's not that I'm not allowing it, but it's just not there to affect me the same way, because my mindset at the time was very scarce driven. My mindset now is abundant driven, and I'm just not sad about the situation because there's still opportunity, hope, and optimism. All right, so I pray that my mom gets through what she's going through, and if she doesn't, then the mourning might show up, right? The sadness might show up. Now I have an opportunity to work my butt off, make some money, and show up for my mom in a way that she really needs me to show up right now. So that's what this stream is really about. If you don't have that purpose, and if you're not purpose driven, it's going to be really hard for you to be productive throughout the crazy amount of stuff that's going to happen in your life. So if you know what's going to happen and you're prepared for it to happen, you're less likely going to respond on a severe emotional level when things do happen. And that's where I think I am mentally. Whereas I'm not crying because my mom got hit by a car. I'm showing up harder and I'm putting in work because my mom got hit by a car. Two different people, two different mindsets. One person's going to cry about it because the crying comes from the feeling of not being able to do anything. The work comes from the feeling of being able to do something about it. And I think that's what will separate you from who you used to be. You today from who you used to be. So if you feel like you can do something about life, when life happens to you, you're going to respond in a way that reflects your feelings. Right? If you don't feel like you can do something about life, you'll probably have that emotional response and you'll cry about it. Understandable, you should if you feel that way. But let's work on not feeling that way so that we can practically get some shit done. All right, what I'm going to do is search, and we're going to go sports. I am going to use free pick for now. All right, so let's do this. Let's update our payment method here, and I'm going to do this off screen. Actually, I'm going to use PayPal because I do have some money inside of a PayPal account that I don't see myself taking out anytime soon. So I've got some sales recently, and I've enabled PayPal on my website. But I haven't set things up to where I can just take out money and transfer money into a bank account. But I'm going to set it to use my balance first. Continue to PayPal. Payment is being processed. Your subscription will be activated. Agree and continue. I did this already. Let's refresh. Subscription activated. All right. So there are a couple of different ways you can do this. Go ahead and just use a monthly plan to download a shit ton of assets and then cancel your plan in a few months. Easy breezy, beautiful. All right. This is just going to be like if you pay for the subscription for a few months and it's considered an unlimited download, get in there and download as many assets as you can, cancel your subscription. And if you need the subscription again later, be prepared to download a lot of assets. One of the problems that I see people have when they go and subscribe to a website to download assets is they download assets as they design things, and typically the rate at which they complete a design is very low. Therefore, they're paying per month to design one product, and they've downloaded one product from that website, and they spent $35 to get that one asset or those 5 assets for that one product that they've created. So if I go to free pick, now I have the unlimited plan. I can now search for assets and download whatever I need. So we're going to do sport silhouette. I think I spelled this right. I probably didn't. But we're going to click on vectors, and boom, like a shit ton of sports silhouettes in one file. Oh, cheer. This is a great one. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab some assets. And let's start with like cheer. Oh my God, that just opens up the door for just 100 other more items. Volleyball, tennis, pickleball is getting really popular, right? So, you know, let's search. I'm going to keep this tab open. I'm going to grab the URL, then do a Control T to open a new tab and Control V to paste the URL. It's going to be the same information. I'm going to change this to pickleball silhouette. And I don't have many pickleball silhouette. I mean, I've created some of my own, so I might actually even go and use my own silhouettes. I would imagine that it's more likely going to be women who are in this field of like, or who are going to be more interested in buying a metal sign that has a pickleball. Like, I don't think men are just going to be like, oh, I love pickleball so much, I'm going to go buy a metal sign and decorate like my garage with it. All right, so pickleball fanatic. I've already created one of my own vectors, so I don't think that I can find a pickleball vector. So let's just go ahead and use something more generic for now. And we're going to say sports related basketball. All right, so basketball silhouette. And maybe this will give us about 4, 5, 6 different. This first one right here looks cool. I'm going to go ahead and click on the drop down arrow under the by the download button, and I'm going to choose SVG. These should be simple SVG files. All right, I have a folder on my computer titled My Metal Signs. In that, I'm going to do a new folder, and we're going to title this Sports. Inside of that Sports folder, I'll do a new folder. We're going to title this Basketball. And we'll just go, I'm going to save this SVG as one. Let's title this as templates 1. I don't know, something simple that I can maintain as I download more assets over time. All right, templates 1. Now we see that you might also like some of these assets down here. So let's do, I'm going to middle click a few of these to open these in a new tab. And I want to find a large variety of assets. All right, so I'm going to do the same thing for all of these other basketball silhouettes. I'm going to download the SVG. In that folder we created, it should pop up. I'm going to click on templates 1 just to get the name, and then I'm going to change the 1 to a 2 because I don't want weird numerical names for my assets. I'm going to do the same thing for this next tab. Download some assets. We're going to save this as template 3. Same thing for the next tab. SVG. I'm going to save this as templates 4. And let's see if we can find some more basketball related ones that we think are going to be cool. And I will go in here. I'm actually going to go here and modify these vectors. I don't think I've downloaded this one. All right, these are a little bit different. I like these two. And this one's going to be saved as templates 5. And I'm going to, this is a really easy way to create multiple products basketball related. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I won't be using all of these. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. I love this one because it has the outline of the ball. And maybe we can do something with that. We'll have to see. 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. So technically, I just downloaded 27 assets. That's a quarter of 100. If I create some products with these 27 assets, and we'll just call it 25, and I create 4 variations of this product, we now have 100 products that we created for basketball lovers. And that's the goal. Now that we have those downloaded, let's minimize our web browser. And let's go to Affinity Designer. We're going to do a file open. And we're going to open up under, let's see, graphic design, metal signs, sports, basketball, excuse me. I'm going to highlight all 5 of these and hit enter. And there you go. They're all opened inside of Affinity in their own little project. I'm going to find the one that I really like that has the outline of the basketballs, which I thought I downloaded. Let's see which one that is. Let's open up my folders. Let's go to graphic design, my metal signs, sports, basketball. We should be able to see view, preview pane. All right, I guess SVGs don't have a preview on my system. So if I go back to Chrome, it looks like I never, oh, okay, here it is. I don't think I downloaded this one yet. So let's go ahead and download this one. And we're going to call this, what is it, 6? Template 6. Okay, and then we'll open that also inside of Affinity. So let's go File, Open, Template 6. All right, the reason I like this is because of this basketball design right here. All right, what I would do is, let's see if we can ungroup all of these objects. And and I can delete this orange curve right here and set this basketball design to be black, as well as the silhouette to be black. That orange curve, I can actually go and set the color to the orange ball to be transparent. And then I'll set the, what do you call this? The stroke to be black. And for that stroke to be, I think that's cool. That stroke actually looks good as it is. I'll go over to layer. Let's go to the designer persona. Let's go to layer, expand stroke. And then we can connect this basketball using the add tool, the Boolean add tool. All right, so now we have a basketball, and let's say the background for this document is transparent. I guess let's assume that the white is transparency. This will be able to be cut out as a metal sign, and your brick wall is going to show up behind that basketball. Okay, so that's essentially how this is going to work. Now, what I would do is use this one basketball. I'm holding the control button as I drag to replace pretty much all the other ones, all the other basketball. Either way, I really like these variations of designs. And I don't really like this one because it doesn't really look like a basketball. But what I want to do here is I want to take this orange layer. We're going to copy, paste, and then we're going to do a shift and select the silhouette. And I'll do a subtract Boolean tool. All right, so that we have a hole right there. Okay. And I don't like these two lines, so I'm going to delete them. And I'm going to copy this basketball over to fit on the top of this. And then I can delete that orange basketball. All right, so let me connect those two together. And boom, we have basically one variation of a metal sign. These silhouettes are connected to each other. So if this were printed as a metal sign, it would look as it's supposed to. The same thing here is true. These two humans are connected in some kind of way, right? So let's go and basically perform the same thing here. I'm going to copy and paste this orange sphere and then subtract that orange sphere from the human using the subtraction tool. Now, if I move this orange sphere, the original, you'll see that there's a cutout there. All right, assuming that you know how to do any form of graphic design, this should be a really easy process for you. Please comment anytime you have a question or a thought about something, even if you think it's really fucking stupid or simple. Comment under my video, say, how did you do that? All right, I need to know how you subtracted this. I need to know how you did that, did this. Please comment. All right, we're going to set the outline to black. We're going to change the orange color to transparent, and we'll go to layer, expand stroke. Now, the difference is you have a line right here, and you have a stroke option where the stroke can go along that line. I want to convert that stroke to a shape, right? So the line is going to no longer be in the center of this stroke, but there will be a line on the outside and a line on the inside, and that's what the conversion will do. Convert this from a stroke to a shape, to where the inside of the shape now will be black instead of the, right, for now, because if I set the inside of this shape to be black, it'll do that, right? So I'll convert this stroke using the layer to, panel, convert or expand stroke. Now, if I create a, let's say, a pink stroke, let's put the stroke behind our layer. Now we have a pink stroke on this black shape, if that makes sense. So when I change the shape to black or purple or any green, the shape is now the stroke and not the circle. All right, the stroke is now around the shape instead of it being around the circle. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so let's set the color of the stroke or the shape now to black. All right, let's combine that with the basketball. All right. Man, this is a weird graphic. It's like it feels like his hand is missing, but I don't like that graphic a whole lot. So I'm going to delete it. I like this one more because you got the guy's hand back there. Okay. All right, so what I'll do here is control, copy, paste. Now we have two balls, and I'm going to select one of the balls and select the silhouette and do a subtract. Now I will convert the original ball to a stroke. And we'll go to layer, expand stroke. You have to be in the designer persona to use this tool, I think, the expand stroke tool. Now I'll combine the lines in the basketball, and there you have it. I'll combine that to those people. Honestly, I'm going to keep them separate for a minute. I might want to use this ball somewhere else. This one I've already combined. I'm okay with that. This one I'm going to keep separate for now. This one I'll keep separate for now. Cool. All right, because this ball is the same as this ball, so I've already got it separated here, and I can use it in other projects in other silhouettes. Perfect. I'm just going to go over here and do a Control G with this set of silhouette and ball. Set these to black. I'm going to do a Control G here to combine these. This one's already combined. And I'm going to do a Control A to grab everything. And we're just going to center those vertically and horizontally. Do a copy, Control C. And I'll close this without saving it. Now inside of this new one, I'm going to delete this text and do a Control V. And put that in the center. It looks like I also grabbed the white background from the last project. I'll delete that white background. All right, and then I will turn those layers off, maybe except for the basketballs. I can go and grab, I'm going to ungroup it. And I will just copy these basketballs. All right. And these three basketballs, I'm just going to throw on top of the document and move them out of the way so that I can hide all those other assets. All right, so here I've got to do the same thing with these basketballs. Man, this one looks a little big, doesn't it? I'm going to grab all these assets, Control Shift G to ungroup them, Control Shift G again to ungroup them, and then separate those layers. Please, if you have a question about something, how did you do that? I want you to ask me in the comments. That ball just looked a little big, so I'm going to adjust the size of it. This ball looks way too big. Just kind of use your best judgment. I don't like that silhouette either. He looks super funny. Why are there two of him? All right, so I'm going to make some modifications to this silhouette. Something just didn't look right. That looks a little more natural, I think. You can keep that how it is for now. This dude looks kind of like a giant. Yeah, honestly, these silhouettes look all right. They look a little bit like an alien. Like, I don't know. Maybe these two silhouettes I'll keep. These other ones I think I'm going to get rid of. Even though I really like this one. Just his head looks super funny. Alright, yeah, these I'm not going to keep. They just look a little cartoony. Like, right? You see their heads? Alright. This one looks alright, but again, he's like bald and the shoes look a little misproportionate. Alright, I'm not going to keep most of those. Alright, so it looks like we have a few items. I'm going to adjust the size of these so that they kind of match the proportion of these basketballs. All right, see what I did there? And I'm going to adjust the size of these basketballs to where it looks a little more realistic. Yeah, that's the thing about downloading graphics off the internet is they might look a little funny. So whether I keep this or not, I'm not totally sure that I'm feeling these. If I go over to this template, you see his head, it looks like a head. That looks like a head. His body looks proportionate. That looks like a head. Okay, so I'm going to keep these. This is all basically assets that you know I grabbed from Free Pick with my subscription, and I didn't have to go and draw these from scratch. All right, easy breezy. What I'll do here is we'll keep this. It looks okay. I'm not feeling the arm. Something about the arm is really off. Yeah. And I think your average like actual basketball like person would notice that. So we're going to get rid of this one too. All right, let's bring this over here and adjust the size of this guy. Sometimes you have to hold down shift when you're making a size adjustment to multiple items at once. Otherwise, it'll allow you to disproportionately adjust. So if I hold down shift to multiple items at once, it gives me a more, it maintains the aspect ratio of my graphics, of my vectors. That looks kind of accurate. I want to say that basketball is probably the appropriate size. So what I'll do here is I'll grab my ball, my orange layer, copy, paste, and we'll grab these legs that are behind the basketball and the orange layer that I just duplicated. Under the design persona, we're going to do a Boolean subtract. Okay, and now I can hide this ball and I can set everything to be black. And there you have it. There's one additional silhouette, and we can group that together and hide it. All right, next one, I'm going to grab everything. I'm going to use this ball as the template, and we're going to do a size adjustment to get the balls to kind of line up a little better. That looks good to me. Looks pretty proportionate. What I want to do now is, let's see, I'm going to do a copy and paste on this silhouette. And I'm going to delete all of the nodes except for the hand. You know, for example, if I make my hand green, you'll see I deleted all the nodes except for the hand. And we're going to grab the silhouette and move the silhouette to the back of the layers group. I'm going to do a Boolean subtract from the ball using the person, subtract the ball, the orange layer. All right, see how I cut that out of his back? And then I can now delete this hand. No, I need the hand. So let's set everything to black. And there is our new silhouette. We're just going to group that all together. All right, so you see, I needed the hand to be on top of the ball. But if I subtracted the ball from the silhouette, it would have subtract it from the hand as well. So I had to duplicate the silhouette, delete all the nodes except for the hand so that the hand could be its own layer, right? So that I can, you see how it's cut out the hand, cut the ball out of the hand. So I needed to duplicate the hand so I can put the hand on top. All right, so now that is a group of several items, layers, or shapes. Okay, got another one here. Make this a little bigger. Let's make them kind of the same height. Let's group these together. Let's do the same thing with this and the ball. Let's group those together. I think we might be missing one more. That one's already combined. Cool. So let's take all these silhouettes and just arrange them a little better. Remembering to hold down Shift as I make my size adjustment. Unless it's a single object. All right, if you notice that the proportions start acting funny, hold down Shift. If the proportions stay intact, you don't have to hold down Shift. All right, I'm just organizing these because what I'm going to do is bring all the other assets into this document. All right, got my different ball designs, and we got all of our assets so far. I'm going to open up templates 5. These look great. Just going to go ahead and grab all 4, ungroup them. We're going to do a copy, go back to this other one, and do a Control V to paste them. Okay, and I'm just going to adjust the size of those to make them slightly smaller. Now, as you can see, his hand is over the top of the ball. All right, this one's already cut out as it needs to be. I think these other ones are too, kind of. Got a little bit of an issue here with this. Let me do some fixing here. I want to try to make sure that these graphics are like actually look good. I don't like how his hand looks here. So I'm going to draw a circle, an ellipse, and then we're going to use the outer edges of this orange ellipse as our reference to the size of our circle. Okay, and what I'll do is, let's see, how are we going to go about this? I want to keep this portion of his fingers. All right, so I'm going to cut that ellipse in half. And throw this on top. And we're going to trim this from the silhouette. Delete. Well, actually, I'm going to go ahead and grab one of our basketballs, throw it on top, trim it about to the width of the orange ball while holding shift. I'm actually going to make it just a slightly bigger. I'm going to delete that orange section. And there is a new silhouette. I still feel like that ball is a little big, ain't gonna lie. It looks a little big. Is it just me? I don't know. We'll keep it how it is. I think it looks all right. Man, the hands just look a little bit strange here. All right. All right, so this is really just my process. I'm going in here to make some adjustments to the vector that was provided. And I guess that looks all right. So again, I'm going to go here and grab one of these basketballs using the control or command when I drag it so that I can copy, like duplicate it. Throw it on top. And that looks good. I'll just remove this orange one, I think. Yeah, and that should be good. All right, so these are all of my little silhouettes. This one's got to be the same. I think this ball is just slightly small. I'm going to grab another ball, throw it on top of this orange one at the appropriate scale. Use the orange one to cut that from the silhouette, and boom. Same thing here. This ball just does look slightly small, but okay, we'll go with it. Now, to create some variation, I can even rotate the ball a little bit. Let's use a period, press period to adjust my bounding box. Honestly, I think I can just delete this orange one because it's already cut out of the silhouette. All right, so if you have questions about this process and something specific that I'm doing, I need you to comment so that I'm not leaving you in the dark. Okay. Our goal is going to be to create at least 25 different basketball designs. Close this, don't need to save it. These look fairly good, so we'll copy these. Let's ungroup everything first. Do a copy. Let's go over here, do a paste, and just adjust the size of them. Hold down shift. All right, and the same thing is true. Let me move this ball, undo, move this ball, undo, move this ball, undo. Everything is good with this. The silhouettes have the ball cut out already, so only thing we need to do is copy over one of each of these balls and, you know, maybe do a simple rotation to give it a little bit of uniqueness in comparison to other balls that we have on the other silhouettes. All right, hold that, press the period button to adjust your bounding box to be, an up and down bounding box. All right, move this over to the top. And I think that's good. I can delete this orange one. All right, move this one to the top. Press period to rotate that bounding box. If you are moving an object or adjusting the size of an object, if you just hover your mouse over the item that you want the object to snap to, you'll see a little like purple identifier that pops up around the bounding box of that object you want your scaling tool to snap to. And then you can adjust the size of your layer and it'll snap to that item as you make the adjustment. Okay, so let's make sure that this hand connects with our box or with our ball. And then we can delete this orange layer. All right, so see how his hand is supposed to be behind the basketball. So if I move the basketball, you'll see that it's cut out here because we don't want that side of his hand to be shown in our metal cutout. Same thing is true here. I'm going to make it real simple. Adjust the bounding box by pressing period. Let's hover our mouse over this orange ball, or you can just click it and then click back on your other item, and it'll automatically use that as a reference for snapping. Right, so hold down shift and you see how it's going to snap to the bottom bounding box of this orange ball. Now I should be able to delete the orange ball. Okay, let's do the same thing here. You have his hand popping out here, which means that the ball is going to have to go behind our silhouettes, arm and fingers. All right, so click on the ball to use it as a bounding box. Click on the box on the basketball outline, press period, and let's adjust from the left, from the right, and then move it down into place. And that should be good. I should be able to now delete this orange. And let's adjust our silhouette's arm here to make sure that it's intersecting with the ball. Let's do the same with the fingers. See if we can just connect all of those together. I actually want to delete these nodes. And that's better. All right, so we can go ahead and just connect these balls to these silhouettes to make them one solid shape. When you see that your bounding box shifts sideways after you make the connection, when you combine two shapes into one solution for that is to grab a rectangle, throw it to the back of the canvas, punch, grab the rectangle and the silhouette, and use the subtract tool to punch it out. And then grab the rectangle that has the punched silhouette and use the divide tool to now separate it. All right, and now you're going to have to delete the silhouette or delete the background. You want to grab the inside of this ball and connect it using the add tool, and then you want to subtract that from your silhouette. And there you have it. That should be good. Now, your bounding box is going to be perpendicular or upright, I guess. All right, make sure all your bounding boxes are upright. This one, as you can see, is kind of sideways. So we're going to repeat that process. Grab a rectangle, make sure it's covering the entirety of that asset, throw it to the back of the canvas, move it to back. Shift, grab our silhouette, do a subtraction, and then do a divide. Click V on your keyboard to use your normal mouse selection tool. Click on the rectangle and delete it. Do a highlight over the elements of the basketball. Join those together using the add tool, and then shift, click on the silhouette and do a subtract. And now that bounding box is upright again. All right, so that can be an issue sometimes when it comes to manipulating and modifying your assets. I'm going to go in here and do a Control-Shift-G to ungroup these assets and connect them together. Really, you don't have to ungroup them, but you can go and just press the Add tool, and it's going to connect them for you automatically without ungrouping them. All right. The reason we're doing that is so we can put the basketball and the person as one shape file, right? So add, it'll convert it from a group of two curves into one curve, or one shape of curves. All right, so here in the panel, in the layers panel, you'll see that I've got groups. Right, and I don't want it to be a group anymore. I want to go ahead and convert it to one single set of curves. That's already converted. This one is a group, so let's do an add, and it changes it from a group to curves. All right, so it looks like we're good. Let's look for any other groups that we have. Let's go ahead and do this one. All right, any other groups? I think that's it. Now, where are these curves at? Let's go in here and just combine all of that. All right, some other useful things that you can do is like rounding out some of those really pointy edges, because this is going to be printed as a metal sign. So super pointy edges, I want to round those out. And then you want to just look through your designs to see if there's like any weird stuff that you might want to get rid of or modify in any kind of way. For the most part, all of this looks pretty normal. All right, that's the main thing that I want to look for, is just to make sure this stuff looks normal. Remember, hold down shift when you start to see a perspective warp happening with some of your assets. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 different silhouettes. Let's close this. We don't need to save it. Let's go and open the last one. Maybe not the last one, but Control copy, Control paste, transform, shift, and Control Shift G to ungroup, Control Shift G to ungroup. It looks like a lot more curves than what are So some of these have like these random curves that are detached, because I think whoever created these vectors used like the pen tool on a tablet maybe to draw these shapes, and maybe they used pictures of real basketball players and drew an outline around them to create the shapes. Man, that hand looks super weird, but it's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. All right. So what I want to do is do a highlight over the entire shape, pressing the shift and clicking the ball to to deselect that shape, and then do a Boolean add to make sure that the entirety of the silhouette is intact. For example, if I move this, let me grab all of this silhouette, for example, turn it black, minus the ball, minus the baseline silhouette. Let me turn it red. You'll see that you have this right here, this leg, and you have part of his hand that seems to be detached for whatever reason. I don't know what's going on with that. But let's turn it black. It looks like this one here is actually supposed to be subtracted. I can delete that one. And everything with his hand just looks kind of strange. What happens when I remove all of this? Yeah, his hand looks super weird. Let's see if we can take from another hand and fix that. So maybe we can grab this hand. So what I'm going to do is just control drag this guy up. We're going to double click and delete all the nodes leading up to his hand. Drag this hand into place. Try to make it as proportionate as possible. Grab these nodes and delete everything here down. Let's grab all of these assets and delete those. All right, so, and then let's just do our best to connect these pieces together and then just combine them. His arm looks a little bit long. That looks good to me. That's a much better looking hand. It's not perfect. Also, I'm not a huge fan of that's better. We can deal with that. His ring finger looks a little big. Okay. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just needs to look a little bit realistic. And cool, I'm okay with that. Now let's double check to make sure that these balls are actually, the silhouettes are actually cut already. When the hand is in front of the ball, it doesn't really matter. And man, that just looks like a gigantic hand. But we'll go with it. All right, again, let's copy balls over. And use that orange ball as a reference for our size adjustment. Okay, and then we should just be able to delete that ball. All right, let's do the same thing here. Use the orange ball first as a size, as a reference for our size adjustment. And delete the orange ball. Let's do the same thing here. Orange ball is our reference. You got to click on it first or hover over it to use it as a reference so that your adjustment, your mouse can snap to it. I think I might want to move this ball up a little bit. Yep. And same thing here. Orange ball as a reference, and maybe adjust it to the top, left, and bottom. And then expand it just a hair. Okay, delete the orange. Expand it a little bit more. I just don't want any very tiny holes that the metal CNC machine can't produce. All right, so those are the things that I think about. All right, so you got the silhouette, you got your ball. I'm going to combine those. Got some phantom lines in here that we need to get rid of. Okay. Same thing with these. Combine those. Combine those. Combine those. And cool. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So I need about 8 more. I want about 8 more. I don't need, but I do want about 8 more. Looks like we've got something from his leg here not connected. So let's go ahead and join those. Make sure we don't have any other random shape layers laying around. Okay, cool. We'll organize these later. I'm going to do a Control-Shift-Save. And on our basketball, we'll just go ahead and save this as basketball silhouettes, player silhouettes. Okay, we can close this template. And templates 1. These guys look pretty decent. I don't like this dude's head. Looks like one of those meme heads. So that's one we're going to lose. This one's all right. 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 You got to think, some of these are going to be for kids. So mom wants to buy decorate kid's room. She wants to get him a cool metal sign. And, you know, decorate his nursery or whatever. Because she aspires to have a basketball baby. So we're only going to grab the ones we want. Control, copy, close, don't save. Control, paste. Adjust the size, hold down Shift. Control S to save. All right, in case we crash, our computer crashes or something, you know, program crashes, we have this saved already. Control Shift Group, Control Shift Group, Control Shift Group. Hit that a few times to make sure everything is ungrouped. As you can see here, you got this and this arm and this ball, right? So that's why we ungroup it, to see kind of what we're working with. These two silhouettes won't need the ball to be cut out of them. This one will. So let's copy, paste, and punch. Now we've got that ball cut out of his arm. Same thing here. Copy, paste, punch. And same thing here. Let's copy, paste. And for this little guy back here, I'm going to punch the ball out of that arm and just connect these together. All right, so you have that. Even though his arms look super short. Let's hit A, grab all of that, use the move tool, and let's convert that to curves. Let's grab all of that and just move it back a little bit. Make it look a little more realistic. Still looks a little off. Like maybe the ball's too small. Really hard to tell there. Something's weird. Maybe my man got little hands, Donald Trump hands. All right, make that ball a little bit bigger. And I want to make his forearms a little bit longer. Good enough for me. All right, same process. Grab a ball, grab a ball, grab a ball. Doesn't matter. Like, just give it a little variation. You click on the ball to use it as a reference for transforming the shape of your outline. And then delete the orange one. Same thing here. When you use the ball as a reference, it's easy to just get it to snap where you want it while holding shift, so you can maintain the aspect ratio of the ball so that it doesn't do this. Okay, gotta hold shift. I'm receiving a phone call, so you'll watch. I'll mute my mic. Okay. Sorry about that. Played a little music while I did a little editing while I took a phone call. And these silhouettes are a bit different, but you know what? I think because of I kind of like this one. And I think that one can be useful. I do like this one a little bit, minus the fact that his hands are, you know, let's bring that one over like that. Let's make it a little bit bigger. Let's make this one. This one I'm gonna get rid of. Not a fan. This one I'll probably also get rid of. Not a big fan. All right, so from this template, I only took one that I liked. From this template, I really like this one. I like this one as well. This one can go. But it looks like everything's connected. So I'm gonna have to cut the basketball design out of those solid balls that we have right there. Let me go ahead and paste these over and adjust the size. These are gonna be, right now I'm using, these are all vectors, so the sizing of them don't really matter as much. Let's go ahead and just group that together. Okay. I'll go ahead and copy paste this and just trim it, set it to a random color so you can see what I'm doing. Move the ball over and use that green sphere ellipse as a reference. Okay, and then delete the green ellipse and connect these two. Boom. All right, easy. This one, I'm going to, let's see how we're going to do this. We're going to copy this ellipse, change the color of it first. We're going to copy and paste it, and we're going to go and add a few nodes to it, and delete these two nodes. And then use that to, so basically what I just did was I copied this ball, deleted a couple nodes so that we can subtract this layer from this layer without affecting this hand over here. All right, and boom, let's turn this ball back on, move it to the back. All right, and we have that now. Okay, I think that looks kind of normal. I feel like his arm is a little weird. Maybe a lot of weird. Yeah, something is super off about the proportions of this guy's arm and his hands. And again, that's what I don't like about not creating my vectors from scratch. But we're talking about being live for about 2 hours now, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 20. This will be 24, and this could be 25. The proportions aren't that serious, but something about it just don't sit totally right with me. So let's bring this up. Let's bring this back down. Let's bring this in. I don't know. We're going to figure this out together. You know, I just make these modifications until it looks like it's supposed to. Maybe somewhere in there I'll draw like just a little shape to make it look like there's at least a hand back there. Let's pull that to the back, copy and paste this ball, cut that, attach these two together, put the ball in the back. That looks a little more realistic. All right, you'll see that little modification I did right there. Okay. Grab a basketball, move it over. I'm going to rotate this one 180 degrees and use the green ball as a reference for the transformation. And move it to the back, delete the green ball, combine these two assets into one. Let's do the same thing here. All right, so all I have to do with these two, since the ball is combined to the silhouette with the silhouette, let's get rid of these phantom lines in there. Make sure there aren't any more. I have to go in here and grab one of these balls. Let's do a 90. Let's do a rotation that's 90 degrees. Copy it, and we'll try to use. Let's see if this is going to allow us. It's probably not going to allow us to use that as a reference since the ball is separate. So let's use our best judgment here. All right, so just try to get that lined up as perfectly as possible with the outer edge of that ball. That looks right. Let's move this to the top, and then we're going to click on the divide tool. And we're going to shift, click on the outer outline of that ball, and then do a add tool. We're going to click on the outline of that ball again and delete it. Now we're going to grab the inside that we just connected there and subtract that from our silhouette. Boom. Okay, same thing here. Let's grab a ball, copy it over, and then use our best judgment, holding down shift as we transform. Since we can't exactly snap it to the edge of that ball, since the ball is in a separate object, use our best judgment visually. Move it to the top. I'm going to divide it. Shift on the keyboard, click on the outer edge to deselect that outer edge. And what we have now is this piece. I'm going to click on add to combine that. And then we can shift, click on the silhouette, subtract. Okay, and now what we have is just this piece that we can delete. All right, so let's do a count one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Let me make those black. We select everything and give it like a green outline and delete the outline just to make sure that we don't have an outline on any of these items. And you know, the balls, honestly, I can take these balls and probably do something with them as well. We'll just go ahead and click on Control S to save this. I'm going to close out this template. We're not going to save it. We're going to grab, and let's see, we got some random phantom curves in here that I can delete. And that ellipse I can delete. Let's see if there are any other hidden items in here that we can get rid of. It doesn't look like I have anything else in here to get rid of in my layers panel. Great. Now Control A, Control C to copy it all. Let's save it again. Control S. And now, how many artboards do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Honestly, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and delete these. And these 10, now I will copy paste, hold down shift and press the down arrow. And I'm just going to move these down with the down arrow. I know it's taking a minute. Okay. Cool. And let's see, just do Control J. It won't work that way, will it? No, it will not. All right, so hold down shift and move this one down into place. And then grab these other artboards. Let's figure out where this one actually is first. 7, 5, let's just go ahead and copy the Y coordinates of this one we just copied. Let's grab these and do a copy paste. Oh shoot, I forgot what the Y coordinates are. Let's grab those Y coordinates again, copy, and then just select these artboards one more time and paste in those Y coordinates. Okay, so then you have 30 different designs. I'm going to do a Control Shift and drag this down. Those Y coordinates are 79810.7. 79810.7. Go over here and copy paste these canvases, these artboards. 79810.7. Boom. So 10, 20, 30, 40. I need one more set. Let's do a copy paste. Let's move this one down into place. It is, let's copy that Y coordinates. Grab this duplicated artboard. And paste those Y coordinates. All right, and now we have 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 artboards here. All right, I'm gonna go and grab my silhouettes, do a Control Copy, go into my first artboard. You know what, before I do that Control Copy, I'm gonna grab all these silhouettes, but we're gonna center them vertically and horizontally. Control Copy. All right, go to the first artboard and do a Control Paste and adjust the size of that silhouette holding the Shift button. And then I can just Shift click anywhere and then Control X. Go to this canvas, Control Paste, Shift click one time so that I can deselect an item, Control X. We're going to do that all the way through. I'm clicking on an artboard, Control X, click on this artboard, Control Paste, Shift click one time, Control X, Control Paste, Shift click, Control X, Control Paste. The Shift click just deselects whatever I click on, Control X, Control Paste, Shift click, Control X, Control Paste, Shift click, Control X. So we're going to do this until all of these silhouettes are separated. All right, so we're trying to build a pretty big business here. So imagine if I have 1,000 products. And you can pay somebody to do this too, but when I first just get started with this and I need the money to pay somebody, I'm going to do it myself. I'm going to show you that I'm doing it myself. I'm going to show you the work that goes into doing it myself. And I'm going to have 1,000 products in here after some period of time because, 50 products. Man, I said I was going to do 20 products a day. Here I am doing 50. 50 products a day times, 7 days, that's 350 products. So every month, that's 1,400 products. 50 times 30 days, 1,500 products. Oh my goodness. Right? So if I do this every day for a different niche like soccer and then cheerleading and then birthdays, or I don't know, birthday. I don't think anybody's going to buy a metal sign for like birthdays. But, and then, let's say I get enough. Here's what's fun. Here's what's fun about this. Y'all going to see this in real time. Like, I don't know if I'll become a millionaire or anything, but I get to a point to where I have, wait a minute, to where I have, I don't know, $300,000, $500,000 a year in sales. Let's say I get like $100,000 a month. And, I'm just being goofy, but realistically, let's say I get to that point to where I'm making that much money per month. Geez, dude. Let me go ahead and save this. I can then go to NFL, NBA, MLB, NHL, and say, I'm making this revenue. I would like to partner with you and get a license to sell your logos, sports logos. Then I can go in there and say, all right. That's a lot of management for a website that's making that much money. But at that point, I can pay people to do it for me. And at that point, I can get the money, the revenue needed to fulfill those services myself instead of relying on print on demand. And then at that point, I'll have a team, I'll have a legitimate business, and I will have the revenue generated to be able to afford the cost of licensing to then go and have these assets be branded to sports teams. One of the things that I really want to do, for example, is have it say like John Morant right here or a name and be able to customize the name. But what if I could put officially licensed like NHL and then get silhouettes of different basketball players into these designs? Anyways, here we are. We've got 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26 different silhouettes. If I go and just make 24 more silhouettes, now I'll have 50 different items. But let's assume that this is what we've got for now. I can go and copy these and make 25 generic versions and then 25. Saw an issue. Glad that I saw this. I can go and make 25 generic versions. Why is this doing this? And then go make, I see, 25 customizable versions. All right, so that gives people the option to say, I want to get one that says, I don't know. I'll have to figure that out, what the generic one would look like. So maybe it's just, this is the generic one. Someone goes and buys this silhouette. Let me go make a modification to this and bake that appearance. All right, so I'll go and thoroughly review, the edges of each one of these to make sure that there are no weird inconsistencies. Okay, I think that looks, for example, this looks good. but what if there was some little, I don't know, some little piece in here that I didn't notice, and I go to upload this to the website and they can't use it for whatever reason. I think I want to get rid of some of these curves. Clean it up a little bit. I like that. All right, so I'm going to go and review all of these silhouettes to make sure there's nothing weird in here that the printing company would go back and say, we can't cut this because you have some inconsistencies in your design that you need to resolve. All right, because our machine is going to look at, you know, these little tiny holes that you accidentally left into the design, and it's going to reject. I don't know, maybe that won't happen. But I like to consider the integrity of my designs before I go and upload them as a product. All right, so we just spent 2 hours, and if I weren't talking and taking phone calls, you know, imagine you hire a designer, they might spend 2 hours on 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 designs, but this workflow, this, you know, the way that I create this productivity right here is going to allow me to now go and, you know, spend 4 hours a day creating designs. Let's say I do this for 8 hours a day. If I have the freedom to be able to do such a thing and lose a little sleep, I now have the opportunity to spend 8 hours a day creating 1,000 creating 100 products a day. If I could do 100 products a day and even upload those 100 products, I'm not uploading anything right now, but, you know, let's say I'm not streaming and I'm just creating these assets and using the time to also upload the products. Let's make sure these are hitting the edge here. And make sure nothing's coming off the edge. $100 products a day, that's a lot of products. And that's a lot of variety. That's a pretty big store. And that would be really good SEO if somebody came in here to say, I want metal basketball, like metal sign or basketball decorations. They're most likely not going to search metal signs. So the SEO is going to have to be consider that your average customer that's browsing the internet for basketball decorations is most likely going to search basketball decor for boys' bedroom. All right, so if I have 50 basketball products and my SEO is relevant to boys' bedroom decor for 50 products, then I'm likely to generate some decent amount of sales per day. Right, my SEO is going to be way better than your average person that has 5 basketball products in their shop for boys' bedroom. I have 50 to 100, right? Because 50 of these will be generic. 50 of these will be customizable, where they can put their son's name or their son's basketball number because he's on a elementary school sports team. All right, same thing is true for cheer. All right, so I might spend a day doing cheer designs and making 100 different designs. I might spend a day doing uploads to the website of the products and SEO for all 50. And it's all going to be the same, right? So, you know, or 100 designs a day, and then 100 like uploads and SEO, like, you know, just kind of writing content. Once you write content for one, you've written it for all of them. Okay. once I create the WooCommerce product for one design, basically I've created, or the description for one design, I've created it for all of them. All right, so there's 25. If I can do 25 more of these, really it'll take me about 30 minutes to an hour. Then I could spend another 2 hours creating the customized versions, 4 hours for technically 200 products, and another 4 hours the next day to do the uploads on your shop. Now you're spending 4 hours a day making 100 products a day, or something like to that extent. All right, 100 products a day times 30 days is 3,000 products in a month. Once you got that many products and you run the right kind of ads to your shop, the sales will then pay for the ads. And if you continue to run decent ads, eventually, oh my goodness, can you imagine having, geez, so let's say you've got basketball, soccer, football, basketball, soccer, football, hockey, skateboarding, surfing, rollerblading, BMX, dirt bikes, boats, airplanes, cars, trucking, like logistics trucking, construction, tools. Let me think, what are some other ones that we could do? Video gaming and like computer building, audio engineering. What else can I think of? I think we said maybe soccer, hockey, cheerleading. Got to think of some more girls things. All right, but that's 20 different niches as it is. Let me just go to Google and do a search, different sports, so that I can think of what I'm not considering. I think I already said baseball. Okay, so archery, athletics like running. Okay, badminton, I'll probably group that into pickleball and tennis. Billiards, bodybuilding, bowling. Somebody's interested in bowling. Boxing, chess, cricket, deadlifting. I'll keep that in bodybuilding. Diving and swimming, that's a good one. Equestrian, so horse riding. I don't think I said soccer, which is, football. Golf, that's definitely a good one. Let's see what else we got. Let's see. Water polo, baseball. Baseball, I didn't say. We did say ice hockey. Lacrosse is a good one. Rugby is a good one. Volleyball, I didn't think of. Frisbee, ultimate frisbee, definitely. Rowing, so any sort of like water sports, boating, track and field, running. I think I did mention that already. Let's see what else we got. We did say boxing. Surfing, I think we said surfing. Figure skating, didn't think of that. Figure skating. Yoga, didn't think of that. What else is in here? So I'm just going through, like, I'm already up to 41, right? We did golf, rugby, volleyball, swimming, baseball, cricket, ice hockey. So we're going to do the same thing that we just did for the last 2 hours and 10 minutes, creating, right now this is 25 like regular basketball silhouettes. We're going to duplicate that to make it 50, and then we're going to duplicate those 50 to make the other, like the same products but customizable with last names and numbers. So that's 100 basketball variations. Volleyball, chess. It looks like we've gotten through all of this. Parasailing, I guess that's in the water sports realm. Some of these are more niche, like fencing. I'm probably not going to get a lot of people that are interested in fencing metal signs, because who does fencing? Maybe I'm wrong. I create 100 different fencing signs. That might end up being my best seller out of Australia or something. I don't know. But 41, I just thought of 41 different sports. I don't know what this sport is, but I'll put that under the category of running, where you're jumping over, or like hurdling, ice skating. Ice skating, I guess, could be its own, so we'll add ice skating. Let me try to think of 8 more. All right, so while I'm live in the stream, I'm looking at different sports that we can make 100 different signs for. So 8 more. Gymnastics, dancing, I guess, could technically be a different one. Parkour could be one, and I guess gymnastics would be more like flipping, and that'll be relative to cheer, but cheer will have the pom-poms, so those could be, I could make 100 of each. Let me think. Let me look through some more. We did all of these. Oh, okay, judo, so wrestling, jujitsu, those sort of things. Karate essentially would be its own thing, because you could do karate moves. And I need 3 more. We already did horse riding, bicycling, horse riding, karate, Formula One. Okay, that's technically a sport. So Formula One, kart racing, quad racing. Okay, so those are 50. Multiply that by 100, and that's 5,000 different designs over, let's say a 50-day period. If I could do 100 each, that's 5,000 designs in 50 days. All right, so 100 days, that's 5,000 designs uploaded to a website, and 1 to 5 ads running will give us enough leverage to be able to say, all right, the designs are free, uploading the designs are free. Once I get enough sales, I can then move over to something like Etsy, where I have a fee, 20-cent fee per item created as a product, right? Per product. Boom. And that's it. Thank you, Jordan. Yeah. What's up, buddy? Come here. Give me a high five. Because I got to paint it. Nothing. I just got to fix it and paint it. I took it off. Why? So that I can paint it. I'll tell you about it later. Tell Gigi I said thank you. Okay? All right, guys. My little buddy, they brought me some McDonald's. Hey, this is part of the stream because you're watching over the shoulder, and I'm not just gonna hide or I'm not gonna hide what I got going on. All right, this is the type of stream that you're dealing with today. So I just did 50 different sports, and I just open up, my own opportunity to, shooting. That's another one. So hunting. Hey, oh girl, your hair looks so good. Give me a big hug.
Hey, what are you doing?
I'm working right now. I'm streaming. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Why is that all around?
Because I've got to fix the walls. Ask Miss Gigi about it. Here, does somebody need a spoon for their ice cream or something? Did somebody get ice cream?
Yeah, we need another spoon.
That's it. There was only 1 spoon in there.
There's one right there.
Oh, I didn't see that. Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and conclude today's stream. And maybe the next part of the stream will be some additional variations of basketball signs. I just did basketball signs with basketballs, but I could do another set of designs with basketball courts and basketball like court designs with text in it, and basketball goals like the backboard and rim and net, right? So essentially, I could create 25 each, and that alone could give me about 100 products. About 100 customizable products. So I'm going to go enjoy this food, and I'm going to continue creating products. And it might be that I end up with a few hundred products today alone. And if I can keep up that level of productivity and do 300 products a day, I can have about 9,000 products in a month. And in that month of uploading 9,000 products to a website, there is no way that I'm not going to be able to have decent amount of SEO and at least 1 to 2 sales per month. So join me in the next stream. In the next stream, I'll have a lot of products to showcase, and I'll probably go through setting up a online store with you. Subscribe. Do all the fun stuff that you do on YouTube if you're interested in following along. But please post a comment letting me know what you personally would like to have help with learning. Thanks for watching.